Okay, we have a quorum, so I'm calling to order our annual business meeting of the Guilderland Public Library Board of Trustees. Our first order of business is those that choose can stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, or you can remain seated in silent meditation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So our first order of business is we have two brand new trustees on the board. So I want to welcome Matthew Gruner. I'm saying it correctly.
You are.
Okay, and Joseph Otter. And then also Mike Koralchuk is back here for another term. We have one other new board member that will be joining us for her first meeting next month. So all three of the newly returning board members just need to stand up. I will read the oath of the office, and you can just, like, section by section, you can just repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm
I do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of library trustee
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of library trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Okay, wonderful. You've been sworn in. You can sign your forms and then just return them to Amy, who's down here, in case you haven't met her, for the new folks. So I will turn it over to Barbara for our next piece, which is the nominating committee is presenting the new slate of board officers.
Okay, we have nominated Cory Givas for president, William Cooney for vice president, Michael Horowchuk for secretary. And those are the recommendations of the committee, but the floor is always open for any additional nominations. So the first nomination should be to Cory Givas for president. And then.
Are we voting on things individually?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a second to that nomination? I saw Alicia pop up first. Thank you. Any comments, questions?
Does the nominations come from the committee, right? Like,
Yeah.
So the motion is the motion.
Motions from the committee. Yep.
So motion, okay, just getting this right.
All in favor? Any opposed? No abstentions. Okay. Next, Barbara, that passes. And now I take
Now
over?
you take over.
I take over for myself. Do you want to present the other two then, or?
Well, I did.
Oh.
Vice president and, secretary.
Oh, okay, so we voted on them all together.
She announced them all in the beginning, so we're just.
Okay, there is a motion for vice president from the nominations committee. Is there a second?
I'll symbolically motion first. How about that?
I'm gonna take Joe on this because he's brand new. We'll let him get his name on the minute. Is there any discussion? Other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And then finally, we have Mike Koralchuk as secretary. Is there a second for that one?
Sure.
Thank you, Tony. Any discussion about that? Perfect. All in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you very much. Let's see. So and Barbara, now you are again for the nomination of the nominating committee for the next fiscal year.
Nominating committee that we've nominated is Bill Cooney, Mike Horowchuk, and myself.
Okay. That also comes from the committee. Is there a second for the nomination of the nominating committee? Thank you, Bill. Is there any discussion or questions? Just to offer a little clarification to our new members, the nominating committee appoints a new nominating committee for the next year. That's in our bylaws. So that's just how it moves forward and why it is different. If there's no other discussion or questions, all in favor of the slate of the nominating committee for 25 to 26? Okay, also unanimous. The next piece of business is the annual board authorizations and resolutions. We have a couple of things to go through. I believe that as far as our authorizations do, we can do this all at once. So you'll see them listed on the back page of the old draft of the agenda. So I'll read out loud what the authorizations are, and then I'll just ask for a motion to approve. So the library attorneys are Gervin and Palazzo. The library insurance brokers are 10 Insurance and also Marshall and Sterling. The library auditors are MNB & Co., which used to be Marvin & Company. Our official newspaper is the Altamont Enterprise. And then we have authorizations of a petty cash fund of $450 is established. The fiscal officer and the library director are authorized to enter into an agreement with NBT Bank and/or Broadview Federal Credit Union and its associated divisions for electronic transfers of funds between library accounts. And the board authorizes payment of some time-sensitive bills by hand-drawn check or electronic payment between boards. We have a motion to approve those authorizations. Thank you, Barbara. Do we have a second? Alish. Is there any questions, comments about the authorizations? Again, these happen annually, and we are not changing anything currently this year, so. All in favor of approving the board authorizations as stated? Okay, again, passes unanimously. We have a number of policies, which I believe Amy said everyone should have a manila folder. The policies were signature. The policies themselves were included in the board packet, so you should have had a chance to read those in advance.
There's one more page of policies that were before that. They're, for sure.
Oh, the resolutions?
Yes,
Okay, I skipped the resolutions. Thank you. We'll do those first then before we move on to this piece, but we have two other annual resolutions, which were always also in the packet. Apologies, I know this isn't the most exciting part, but I believe we need to read them aloud for the record. Does anyone have an issue with us voting on these together, or do we want to separate them? No concerns? Okay, I will read the motions and then I will ask for one. The motion to accept the resolution that the board shall approve claims prior to payment in accordance with the claims approval procedure of the library, and that such approval shall be documented in the board minutes. Claims for public utility services, freight and express, payroll, postage, and associated expenses, and certain other expenses may be paid upon approval of the director or assistant director prior to the approval by the board. All such claims shall be presented at the next regularly scheduled board meeting for audit and approval by the board. This resolution shall be effective immediately. The second resolution is a motion to accept the resolution that, to the extent permitted by law and regulation, for any month in which no meeting of the trustees is scheduled to occur, the board delegates its authority to the president or other trustee officer to audit and approve payment of those claims for which costs will be incurred as a result of payment in an untimely manner. All such claims shall be presented at the next regularly scheduled board meeting for audit and approval by the board. This resolution should be effective immediately. Do I have a motion to pass those two resolutions? Thank you, Joe. Is there a second? Mike. Okay. Any questions about these? Again, these are just annual resolutions that we pass to make sure we don't incur late fees and make sure everything gets paid on time. If there's, do you have anything to, do you want to add something? No. Oh, okay.
No, I'm
No.
sorry. I was
Just making, okay. All in favor of approving these annual resolutions? Okay, it is unanimous. Now to what I tried to jump ahead, which is the three policies that are included in your packet, and then the signature forms are included in this. So those are code of ethics, conflict of interest, and whistleblower policies. Please sign and fill out any other information on there. Are there any questions or comments about those policies? Okay, perfect.
Corey, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
It just occurred to me, I didn't see it on the agenda, but don't we also need to reappoint George?
Did we do that at the last meeting?
Thought we did.
Did we do that ahead? Or-
No, we changed the bylaws, but I don't think that we have.
We actually appointed
Yeah.
him, yeah.
Let's do that
We need to do it.
right now. Okay.
Thought you'd slip by.
Okay.
Believe me.
Catching that. So, okay, so if there's no questions about the policies that we're signing, then we also need a motion to appoint George Wilhelm as our treasurer for another one-year term.
Delighted to do it.
Okay, Barbara. Mike, would you like to second? Okay. Lovely. All in favor, please don't vote against it. Okay, great. George, congrats on another year.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to more jokes. The jokes come in.
Yeah. Serious.
The final thing that we have on our annual committee business meeting is our annual committee reports. I know that there were 2 in the packet, so I hope you had time to peruse those that made it in.
More, 3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah. I added.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, it's in the
perfect. Okay. So I'll just run through here, and this will be the last thing I talk about until we adjourn, but on long-range planning, things are trucking along. As you know, the survey closed, and now the committee is next meeting, and we will have some analysis of the results, and we will be setting up our focus groups to move forward. So the process is going smoothly. It just does take a bit of time to ensure that we get all the community feedback. And that's where we're at. Tony, is there anything you'd like to say for finance?
And the year was pretty uneventful. So doing the budget this year was much easier than years past, probably. But thanks to Pete and George for that. Going forward, we'll have the budget for whatever repairs we need. And the only thing that's hanging out still is the audit, which we'll have to review. Otherwise, that was it.
Bill, I think you had included a report. Is there anything you'd like to add on
The
facilities?
big, one of the big areas of focus for us in the last year was trying to identify the problems with Skylight and get them fixed. That's going to be an ongoing, going forward into the new year, is trying to get a contractor to give us a comprehensive approach to that. It's still elusive. We made a lot of progress on wall art decor, good arrangements with the high school and all the various schools in the school district, as well as with the Guilderland Garden Club and Gade Farm to get greenery and arts work into the library. Still working on getting a big signature piece above the fish tank and then above the entrance here. We'll be working on that through I think the work that we did in terms of bringing on a new facilities team did a lot to make the work of facilities committee easier, because there was a lot less little stuff coming in and good hands, making sure that that all got taken care of in an organized way. Farmers contract, we had a first, the kickoff of the farmers market last week, attended by some local politicians, but that signed up for a 3-year term. And then we did have some input on the book sale, so organizing that. So next year, the Skylight, the continuing the decor, and what we're going to do with the overflow parking lot or some of the issues. Okay.
Thanks. Barbara, is there anything else in addition to the appointments that the committee requested you'd like to report from nominations? Okay, that was easy. Personnel, Alicia, anything you want to highlight?
I mean, my report's lengthy, so I apologize, but basically the gist of it is our big thing, because it had not been being done for quite some time, was to develop a process for doing reviews of the director. And we settled on a mid-year review and an annual review, and we are continuing to make small tweaks as like kind of we learn what works and what doesn't work. But we just completed the mid-year review. We aligned on the goals. I think everything is still more or less in the same priority order as the last time we discussed. So we're doing a lot of focus on, basically the staff on the ground, the culture. We have some of the, building repairs to address and things like that. But it was a favorable review, and I think some action items came out of that. We do have Corey and I have a follow-up with Pete next week just to kind of break down maybe like goal dates for some of those to be completed, and otherwise we are chugging along with continuing this process. And since I'll be chairing this committee next year, there'll be some continuity going into the next year with this as well. So hopefully we'll get it 100% right the third time around, but so far they've both been really successful. So I'm happy that we're finally doing these, so.
Mike, anything to report from governance?
We made some progress this year on some, reviewing of some of the policies. The biggest change was the investment policy, which Marcia led. We did kind of a complete revamp of the investment policy. But then we also did some significant overhauls of the social media, public comment, and public behavior policies. So those are the major things that the committee did this year. And we have a few other things that are kind of in progress that from last year's committee will be passing on to the new committee this year. So.
Narina was chairing board training and development. Is there someone else from the committee that would like to speak to anything throughout the year? Okay, well, people got trained.
I can report that to our knowledge, all board members have met their training requirements for the year.
Okay,
So we'll continue to just make sure we're offering trainings several times a year, make sure it fits their hours.
thanks, Steve. Is there any other annual business that we need to discuss? Can I have a motion to adjourn the annual meeting? There a second? Okay, Phil? All in favor of adjourning our annual meeting for the year? Wonderful, adjourned.